Hello, everyone. My name is Allison Wade, and this is Emily Merle. We chose the classic Pixar movie WALL-E to illustrate the possibilities of the future that might include robot overpowering, the fate of no recycling, growing obesity, and the ever present space travel. We included the quote, "Well, I'm sure our forefathers would be proud to know that 700 years later, we'd be doing the exact same thing they were doing." This quote illustrates how, even though they went on the spaceship to have an opportunity to save Earth, they never went back or cared for it. They became adjusted to their life on the spaceship, and there was no longer necessity to go back on Earth if everything they had was right there on the spaceship.
What is Wally? Wally was a movie that was made in 2008 by the director Andrew Stanton. This is a futuristic movie set in 2805 that tackles many of the world's problems, such as pollution, the endless amount of trash, the growing obesity in all Americans, the inevitable end of the world and its uncertainties, and finally, the ever present promise of space travel. Many of the included characters have a specific job to place the world back on its face like it once was. Wally is meant to be a saving grace and is the last hope to clear the garbage on Earth. Eve is made to find signs of a world worth living in. And the captain is the savior of the people who takes charge of the power of the robots and is in charge of getting humanity to be able to return to Earth.
What did the Earth turn into? On the first picture, you see at first glance what just appears to be a bunch of skyscrapers, as in a normal city like New York. But upon further investigation, it is skyscrapers made out of purely garbage. This just illustrates how the citizens really let go of the world, and it kind of seems like they don't even care about what the future people would have. And so it just shows how everything was just let go and nothing mattered anymore.
It was very notable that the people were so consumed with other responsibilities that they didn't even notice that the garbage was taking over and that there was no longer room for them because as you can see, the towers of garbage, where were people supposed to live or be with this much taken up room just by garbage?
In the second picture, you see a picture of the globe that is near the end of the movie. Alaska is gone in this picture. And what that means is that climate control got so out of hand that Alaska just disappeared. And I think that was a really bold move for them to put in because no one really puts into perspective what climate control could really do. And as you see, places that people live actually disappear. And in the last picture, you see the Buy and Large gas station. And later in the presentation, you'll learn that the Buy and Large is also the brand of the spaceship, and that is what the new alphabet is made out of. And so it was just an interesting inclusion to turn a gas station that you wouldn't really think would have any significance in the end of the world to the only thing that humanity has left and the only possible place for them to live on at this point in the movie. The 2000s presents and world problems. First, obesity. Second, the end of the world. Third, recycling or the lack thereof. And finally, space travel. The 2000s played a role in shaping WALL-E as real world problems were portrayed. One of these includes the ever growing rate of obesity, as it rose from 15% in the 1980s and 90s to 34% in the 2000s. Since this number is steadily rising, it is justified to assume that in the future, society will be obese. Thus, I believe WALL-E accurately portrayed this. Additionally, as technology was evolving immensely in the 2000s, the belief that machines would one day take over began to take off and gain popularity. Wally highlights this idea as Otto, the pilot of the spaceship, attempts to prevent them from returning to Earth. He attempts to destroy the planet and disobeys orders from the captain, which demonstrates the growing fear of machine takeover. Furthermore, in 2006, laws were introduced making it illegal to litter, which undoubtedly had an influence on Wally, as this film emphasizes how destroyed our world will become if we continuously litter. Wally is a wake up call for humanity to not allow the film's predictions to become a reality. Lastly, in 2006, NASA sent an exploration probe to Mars to study Mars, and with the rise of space travel occurring throughout the years, it was inevitable for Wally to predict society's future to occur in space.
Wally's problem solving skills. First off, Wally realizes that plants are important. Second, environmentalism. Third, lifestyle. And fourth, the importance of perspective. If Eve could prove that there are plants growing on Earth, then the citizens could return to the Earth as it would now support life. The people fled because the plants were dying off. Once Eve discovers the plants, They know that humanity can return once again. With this knowledge, the citizens must protect plant life and make changes to keep Earth healthy, hence the importance of environmentalism. Additionally, with the return to Earth, the citizens could change their lifestyle for the better and eat more plant based meals. They could also become more active with farming or other jobs. The citizens' lifestyles could change drastically and improve immensely. Finally, now that humanity has experienced the effects of carelessness on the environment, they can prevent it from reoccurring by changing their habits, such as recycling more. With this second chance, humanity can learn from their past mistakes and hopefully improve the environment. It's time to save the world.
Noteworthy quotes and its relevance. The first quote is, "I don't want to survive, I want to live." And this is the scene where that takes place.
I can't just sit here and do nothing. That's all I've ever done. That's all anyone on this blasted ship has ever done. Nothing.
On the Axiom, you will survive.
I don't want to survive. I want to live.
Must follow.
The second quote is, "Otto, why didn't you wake me for morning announcements? Honestly, it's the one thing I get to do on this ship." The third quote is, "A is for Axiom, your home sweet home. B is for by and large, your very best friend." And here's that scene.
A is for Axiom, your home sweet home. B is for by and large, your very best friend.
And the last quote is, "In space, no one can hear you clean." The quote, "I don't want to survive, I want to live," symbolizes that the citizens on the ship are merely getting by and are not actually living life to the fullest. The citizens do not interact because they are consumed by their screens, and with the chance to be back on Earth, they can live once again. In a scene that I did not add, there are two people who are riding in their chairs side by side, and they are talking to each other, yet they are not looking at each other. They are speaking through their screens. Additionally, the second quote shows how little the people on the ship can do and how upset the captain is when he misses his chance to do something other than look at the screen, even if it is something as simple as reading morning announcements. The citizens could just pass time on the ship and never have any real purpose throughout the days. Even the alphabet changes, which you can see in the third quote. A is for Axiom and B is for by and large. It seems as though their lives are consumed by the ship and have no other purpose to them. Lastly, the final quote brings a sense of loneliness, in my opinion, as it states, "In space, no one can hear you clean." WALL-E highlights a lonely and almost meaningless life in space for the citizens, which they can essentially escape with the discovery of life on Earth.
Thank y'all for listening to our presentation today, and I hope you enjoyed it.